everybody, and welcome to From This Corner TV. We're back, and I'm Marilyn, Dayton, your host and producer. We've got a very exciting show tonight, one I've been really looking forward to. But first I want to remind you, we're not here just to entertain you. We're here also to talk about items and information that interests you and educates you a little bit. And we're going to do all of that tonight. Let me ask you this. Have you ever wondered how a TV series gets created? Where the ideas come from? That's a clue to what we're going to be talking about. You're going to meet three people, one of them's very familiar, who are involved with the development of a new TV series. Woohoo! And you're going to hear their stories and how this all came about. Our usual co-host, Dodie Millardo, is back, but she's going to be a guest today, but I'm not going to stop her from being the co-host too. She's going to pop in and out as she usually does, which is marvelous. And I just want to remind you, she's an author, TV show co-host, actress, and she's been involved not just in this TV series, but also in a musical recently.
Anti-bullying.
Yes, anti-bullying. Woohoo! And John Cacioppo, sitting next to me, he's the creator and director and acts in, and he's a really good actor, this new TV show. And he wears many hats in life. Blake Donavan is back, and he was here when he was involved with the creation of a show when he was a senior at Guilford High. I'm sure you remember that. And now he's involved in the creation of another show, and he's even been involved in other things. But we're going to talk about Hush Point. That's the name of the show. So, welcome to the show. I'm so glad you're here.
Thanks, Marilyn.
Thank you for having us.
Yes.
So we're going to start with Dodie, okay? Because you met both of these guys, and they didn't know each other.
That's right.
So let's go back to that time and tell us about it. And
Absolutely.
tell us why you introduced them.
I think the most fascinating part of all of this is that when one door closes, another one opens. And in my life 4 years ago, a door closed. I was told I was getting a divorce by my now ex-husband, and that was a very devastating thing for me. However, as I was going through that process, I ended up in Guilford, living in Guilford. I found a place to live, found a job in Guilford. A friend of mine, out of the blue, totally out of the blue, called me up and said, "We're doing a TV show called Just Saying, and I want you to be a co-host." I'm like, I don't know anything about doing TV shows, but why not, okay? So I started as one of 6 people as a co-host on this TV show, Just Saying, out of Branford Public Access TV, which is where I met John, okay? So the show is going on, and we're interviewing people as we go along, and one of the things when I got to Guilford I decided to do was give back. And I thought I would do mentoring at Guilford High School. And my mentee, Lucy, and I would walk around and visit different people as we were walking around. And one day, they have these whiteboard, electronic whiteboards that talk about all the things that are going on in the school. And this is now, I guess, a year and a half ago, right? There was a notice that the Guilford High School Film Club was doing their world premiere. I love this. I just love this, okay? The world premiere of their film that they did themselves, and it was called One, and it was a romantic film, and I'm like all over romance, so I'm good with this. And they were airing it or viewing it in January at their high school auditorium. So I decided to go and watch this thing, and they wrote it. Blake was one of the co-creators, Blake and his friend George. They wrote it, they scripted it, they filmed it all summer, the summer before, themselves, in hot weather and everything, okay? They edited the whole thing themselves, and then they did all of the marketing for it. So they had like 400 plus people at this premiere. And at the end of it, I'm like, oh my God, and I'm crying. It was such a fabulous, I just thought, oh, wow, okay. So I go up there to talk to them, just to say how fabulous they're doing. And they're all there with their selfies, their friends, and they're like, oh yeah, and and there's George and Blake. And I wanted to just say to them, I think you guys did such a fabulous job, but I waited a little too long, which was a good thing. Because when I got up to them, just before I got up to them, I went, oh no, I know what I have to say to them. So I said, hi, my name's Dodie Millardo, and I am a co-host on a TV show called Just Saying. We'd love to interview you. You would have thought I gave them an Academy Award. That these two guys went crazy. And I'm thinking to myself, do they know that it's just public access TV? And I don't know that there's a big audience here yet, but anyway. So the next week, the whole club came, and we all had a meeting. We made it happen. And they had their advisor, and all the kids from the club came, and we interviewed them at BCTV on the show. So we finished the show, and I go out to the lobby to say bye to them, and there's Blake and John bonding. And he's talking about a TV show that he's working on. I had no idea that he was doing this, but he got Blake real interested. And these two, I don't think they've been apart ever since. I think they've been like this ever since. And Blake was graduating that year, and at his graduation party, which I was very grateful to be invited to, and John and I were there having lunch, and we're talking, and John sits back and he goes, Dodes.
Her nickname.
My nickname.
But you know that already.
Yes,
huh?
I know that.
You know that. Blake and I want to ask you a question. And I said, yeah, I know you want me to be associate director on your show.
Something, yeah.
And he went, how'd you know that?
I did.
And the rest is history.
Yes.
And I just love that story because I'm just so grateful that my door that closed opened to this.
Absolutely.
It's so fabulous that I'm where I am now because of that door closing. I'm very grateful. I love these guys. I hang out with them. They're like my family.
Yeah.
And I have brothers I never had before. And yeah, you guys are awesome.
And I hear about you guys all the time. And of course, we had Blake on the show.
That's
on
right.
Our show, too.
That's right.
We did a remote right there in the high school. It
Yep.
turned out really well. It was great fun.
Yeah.
So you guys got to meet. Now, what happened?
Yeah, I have. So I
Go down.
She's got more.
I'm the
Of course.
co-host. I'm playing co-host right now.
Yes.
So you two met and you got together again. But before you met Blake, you already had this show in your head, right? Where were you going to go with this? What were you going to do before you met Blake and that path took off? What was your path? What were you going to do? How far had you gone at that point?
That's a good question.
Yeah, because I don't know. I didn't even know.
Yeah.
At that point, all I knew was you were putting microphones on me.
I was behind the camera that time. Yes. As you
Okay.
say, I wear many hats.
Yes, many hats.
Where was I going? I was already involved with BCTV
Yep.
with the show,
Yep.
but I definitely wouldn't have got as far as I was without Blake at this point where I'm at a year later.
And it's only a little over a year. And
Yeah.
all that has happened.
So much, yeah, she's right. So
Well,
much
all
has
right, we'll
happened.
go into that. Yeah,
Yeah,
yeah.
so much
Okay,
has
good.
happened over a year, which we'll get into that.
When did you come up with the idea for the show? And
Yeah.
then-
So where were you? What the history before you met Blake? That's what we need to know.
Okay,
Yeah.
okay. So I've been involved in theater for a very long time, since elementary school, on and off, to go back and forth with it. Then I was in I was in actually a improv show too, where it was a musical about the 60s, which you would love that, Marilyn, I know
yeah.
you would.
Love that, yeah.
And Dodie still has to see it too. Blake has
Yeah,
seen
I
it
do
already.
have to see that.
But it was awesome, and I played these two characters, and it was so cool. I got a lot out of it, and I don't have the best singing voice, but it was great, and we had a great time doing it. But I did so many different shows. I played so many different characters throughout, my life and everything, and it's been great. And back in maybe early 2000s, I said, gee, people write books, as Dodie's done. People, biographies, whether it's romance, whatever it is, and they write stories. And I was like, well, why can't I write my own play? Because I've been doing a lot of theater. So I wrote a play about the 80s, put it on down in East Haven, and for 2 weekends, and it was I wrote it, I produced it, I directed it, and I was also in it with all my other cast. And that was awesome. We had a great time, good cast and everything, a lot of fun. So I said, people write stuff, I could do this. So I did it. And it was really, really cool, So then years went by, and I was like, I don't know, maybe in a rut, I guess you want to say, And I would say probably around 2 years ago, I says, I want to write something that I could put on like locally. And so I was trying to figure out how to go about doing this. As you said, I know you've said about me wearing many hats. I'm also a DJ. I have my own DJ company, which Blake also helps me out with that. So he wears many hats too. So I was DJing, and BCTV was there at one of these events I was doing. And I said, well, let me find out how I can do it. So I talked to them, come down to the station, and that was like winter of 2015, I believe. I already had wrote some stuff. I said, let me sit down. I just want to write a TV show. I want to write a good drama about life, about intertwining, people intertwining with each other, keep it grounded. That's what I was looking to do. So I sat down. First thing to do is write characters, which Blake knows it's very hard. It is not easy to do, right? Come up with characters, and I come up with characters that maybe from my own TV shows that I liked, whether it would be a first name or a last name, or I'd actually, a little secret I'll tell you, I'd look around the room and I'd say, maybe, just things like that. That's how I come up with people's names.
And the depth of the character, like the nuances of what they like and what they don't like, and how they behave and stuff. That's deep stuff.
And
you've really created that in Hush Point.
That was definitely. I just can't. But then, once I did all that, it kind of got pushed aside because then I was talking with BCTV, and just as you know, things happen along the ways. And finally, right around when I met Dodie and stuff at BCTV, right before I met Blake, I just about wrote the first script. And the day that I actually met Blake, we had talked, and then we talked to each other, I think maybe a week later? Something like that, right? Yeah, it was something like a week later. I had wanted him to come in to do a part that I needed, one of the kids, Cody, as you will see, which you've already seen. So, and we talked, we met the next night, we met each other, and instantly we had a bond, because I saw something in him, and I didn't get to go to the premiere. It was on my birthday in January. I was so mad. I read the article in the paper, so I knew about them, him and his friends and group. But then, so I knew that.
Amazing.
Yes. Then I actually got to watch it. I finally got to watch it. Well, everybody was good, but he stuck out in my mind. And I said, there's something about him. What is it? Well, once we started talking, what it is, Marilyn, is that he's me all those years ago. Because I'm just a few years older than him. So he's me back then.
Not much.
So that's what it was. And then we talked, and he's got so many interests like I do, and it was just an instant bond. And whether it was about this or just life, we just connected. And like Dodie said, we really haven't been apart. We've been, not just with the show, we're really close, we're like brothers. And it's awesome because we intertwine with each other so well as far as this goes and beyond this too. But it's amazing. And that was it. Then I said to him, Blake, I need somebody to help me with this show. I cannot do this alone. I know I can't. It's a lot to do. That was it. He accepted it. So we were working together ever since then. And we've put the show together, the characters, the bios of the characters, like Dodie said, a storyline of the characters, background of it, just everything. And we I have a DJ office in Brantford, and we sat there for hours and hours and hours at end, 12, 1 o'clock, 2 o'clock in the morning, just getting this all done. And that was the history of how we actually met each other.
Everything in life, I firmly believe, happens for a reason.
So
Not only just because when one door closes, another one opens, that.
Yeah.
The opportunities.
Yeah, that's right.
Just, if you're aware of the world around you and you listen and you pay attention, you can take a step this way, or you can take a step this way, and your journey's going to change each time.
That's so true.
And what I want to know now is, Blake, you got to meet this man,
Right.
okay?
This man.
And
Well, I'm fascinated to know that day at your premiere. What'd you think of all of that? I mean, here, you know, you're doing the selfies and everything, and then this woman comes up to you and says, "Oh, I want to interview you on a TV show." Did you think I was a lunatic? I mean, really, what did you think? And
No.
where did that go? Because that's where that intersection happened, and
well, that started another journey for
right.
you.
So, I mean, the premiere itself was crazy.
It was awesome.
My friend George, he wrote it, and it was his idea to do it. You know, I had helped him produce it, and acted in it, and then I kind of took control of planning the premiere and marketing it while he was doing all the editing. So that's kind of how we made things come together that way.
Okay, good.
And so the whole thing was crazy. I had been working every day, like coming home from school, I'd be working from like then till like 10 o'clock at night at my desk at home. I'd be doing stuff during school because
You could.
I could. And so,
We won't tell anybody that.
no, well, that's just between us.
Yeah.
right?
Yes, that's just between us. Got
Cameras
it?
don't
Okay.
have to hear that.
Yeah,
so,
right.
But then, you know, so the whole premiere was crazy and so many people there. And then Dodie walks up to us and she's like, "We want to put you on a TV show." And it's like, hey, it doesn't really matter what TV show it is. We're on a TV show. And that's awesome,
Exactly,
you know?
yeah.
We can still say we've been on a TV show. So it was really cool and we were really grateful for that opportunity. So
Me too.
So it was really awesome. And then, you know, it started all of this.
Yeah.
Yeah,
So,
absolutely.
When I think of the timing of all of this, it boggles my mind. I mean, especially after you just shared your timing and having met him kind of where, I mean,
What was meant to
Yeah.
happen.
Yeah.
You know,
absolutely.
For one second, I do want to continue. I
Yeah,
really
yeah.
forget an important thing was when I did meet Dodie, I was behind the scenes, like I said, at BCTV doing Just Saying. And so if I didn't meet Dodie, I wouldn't have met Blake.
That's right.
Absolutely.
You know, so it just-
none
it
of this
all-
would have
Yeah.
happened. It just, wow.
Yeah,
Yeah.
Thank you,
Yeah.
God.
yeah. But anyway, so
There was a plan, okay?
Thank you, God.
And
So
the
go
plan
ahead. I know you were
is
asking
really
Blake.
moving.
Yeah.
I know you're asking Blake.
And if you
Yes.
weren't putting mics on people,
Oh, Dodes.
Okay, I
She
don't
went
know
there.
if we should go there.
She went
Move
there.
on.
Let's move on.
move on.
Yes. Okay, we want to hear from Blake. Okay,
right, so,
Blake,
go
you
ahead.
met this man, okay? And this young man, he comes up to you and, you know, starts talking to you. What did you think was going to happen?
I didn't know what was going to happen. You know, I had just finished, you know, my big project that I've been working on, my first big project. And so he was talking, and immediately I was interested in it. And then he gave me a call like a week later, he said, and I came in, I auditioned with another co-star and stuff like that. And he gave me the part, and then he asked me to help out with, you know, different areas here with producing, writing, all this stuff. So I was completely on board and ready to go.
Well, you know,
Well, there were how many people at that interview? 5 kids came from the school?
Oh, yeah. About, yeah.
5 kids, and this is the one that connected.
yeah,
All,
absolutely.
yeah, you know.
Yeah.
All right, go ahead.
What was I going to ask? See what you do to me,
I
Dottie.
Oh, what he thought. What he thought.
So you're the kind of a guy that the feeling I got from you is you like to keep busy. You like to
Yes.
keep the creative juices going, right?
Whether I like to or not, I always keep myself busy somehow.
Yes.
So, yes.
And of course, I think everyone sitting here relates to that because we're all kind of, I guess you could say, driven, interested. We're achievers. We just have to keep moving forward.
Passionate.
And this connection that happened here, remember I mentioned about your movie one, that magic was happening there?
Yes.
I think magic happened here too.
Absolutely.
I agree.
Yes.
Absolutely.
So things progressed, and each one of you is also in front of the camera, okay? So these are not people that are just working behind the scenes like crazy people. They're also in front of the camera. And I want to start with Dodie because
fun.
she ended up playing a role.
Yes, she did that. We created just for her.
Yes, and
No, actually, what happened, if I'm not mistaken, well, there's the diner
Yes.
disaster, okay, but we were filming at the library in Branford, and the librarian, if I got this right, correct me if I'm wrong, the librarian was supposed to have a part in this scene we were filming.
as a librarian.
As a librarian.
Oh, yes.
Okay. Just a little part, okay. And she got called into a meeting, couldn't do it, and we're there, and we got everybody there, and the film, the camera, and everything. And they look at me and go, "You're going to be the librarian." I'm like, "Ugh." So I was, and I did like 1-2 lines, whatever it was.
Yeah, that was it. But
And I messed them all up. But, you know.
we like the option of we created that role for you.
Okay, I like that too.
Well, Dodie's
Well,
a team player.
Yes.
Yeah,
So-
and
Big
not,
time.
not only that, but she's a woman of many
so nice to
talents
hear.
too,
Yeah, she is, yeah.
and you know she's got a lot of personality.
So
Of
now
course,
I miss
you know
Paige.
that.
Yeah, that's how it came
Miss
about.
Paige.
My
yeah.
Miss Page outfit.
It is actually.
It is.
It is.
Yes,
An episode
she
two.
wore her
Yes.
Miss
I
Paige
wore it
I
on
know what it
purpose.
looks like. You'll see it.
Yes.
You will see that in episode 2.
Episode 2.
So then we have Blake, who is one of the key players here, one of the
Absolutely.
key actors. And you play what role?
I play the role of Cody Daniels. So he's one of the teenagers in the show. He's a junior in high school. And the cool part was based upon the character that John created, because everything that we created and built upon, it was built upon his foundation. So based upon just the foundation that he laid, I connected a lot with Cody. And then moving forward from that, we were able to build upon him even more, like we've done with all of the characters, and gone deeper. And so a lot of Cody is kind of about my life. Not everything, but there are different inspiring factors. And that makes him a really cool character to play. Especially in season 2, there's a lot of cool things that are going on with Cody that I'm excited about. And season one's some crazy stuff too.
Yeah.
So
Well, of course, then in the first episode, your mother slaps your
Yeah, I get
face.
slapped. That
you know,
was-
I mean,
that was not
you have to get
inspired
into
by
the
my
role,
life. I
right?
know.
No, that wasn't
No, that was her issue.
That
So
came from us.
Yeah.
Yeah, that came from us. Yeah.
That was more Cody than me. But
yeah.
yeah, exactly.
Because that relationship is total opposite of his mother's relationship.
Oh yeah, I know
Period.
that.
Absolutely.
Yes,
Period.
yes,
Yes.
And you know, and it's kind of interesting because that's acting.
Yeah.
You know,
Yeah.
you're not playing your relationship with your mother. Okay.
Yeah.
You are a different character, and you and your mother have differences of opinion. You've got issues, and this happens. You
Right.
know, and that's what acting is all about. That also is what character development is all about.
Yes.
Okay.
Yes, it is.
And have you, before we talk about your role, sometimes as you're filming, the character development develops into a little different direction sometimes than you thought it was going to because what is that, kinetic energy or something that's going on, and you say, you know what, let's
go
change
this way.
that
That's right, yeah.
and go in this direction, which is really kind of a cool thing.
Right.
yeah, I always say that the characters develop themselves.
Absolutely right. Yeah,
Yes.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
Just like when you're writing a book. I've written
Yeah.
a few books unpublished, but
And we're right to the characters too.
Yes.
We were right to the characters.
absolutely.
You know, so we see the actors and their strengths and stuff. So we were right to that too, which we pretty much do all the time.
So let's talk about, now this is a nice guy, okay?
Thank
Keep
you,
that in
Marilyn.
mind
However,
She's so
as
sweet.
he talks about the character that he plays in this show. Tell us about that guy.
Okay. My character's name is Jake Carboni. And as Dodie likes to say, the JC, because that's my initials, and that is what I did. But like I said to you before, the names sometimes come from different things.
Yeah.
So Jake, what's my mom? She probably remembers this, but when I was younger, my mom, and she still once in a while will call me Johnny Jakes. So Jake came from there. That's how the Jake
okay.
got born.
Yep.
So I like the Jake. And then Carboni was because I needed a nice Italian. I'm 100% Italian, so I needed a nice Italian name.
Of course you do.
So I was like, Carboni, you know, it was just
That's a
just
great
awesome.
name.
Yeah,
Great name.
you know, and it's like
Yes.
our other characters, the Casio, Chase Cassio was like Cacioppo, so I kind of did that too.
Gotcha,
Yes.
okay.
Originally, I was going to play the detective. That's a little fun fact here.
Ah.
I wanted to
Oh.
play the detectives. I always wanted to play a detective, but I said I need a bad person, which or I don't know if you want to say bad person, but like, what could we say?
Well, there's a lot to Jake that
Yeah.
you find out throughout the whole series. He's a very
Complicated man.
complicated,
Yes.
and because of some factors in his life, lands him where he is now with his, mental and emotional state where he's angry, manipulative, stuff like that. Nothing like John.
No,
but,
nothing, no.
But Jake Carbone has a lot going on up in his head.
Yeah.
And that really makes him an unpleasant man to be around.
Yeah. So it's like, am I the bad guy of the town? Yes. I like power and money, things I don't like in real life, but who doesn't like money? But still, so he's, as you saw in the show, he's he's a very sarcastic person to most, not every character, but most. But it's fun to play the bad guy.
Of course.
John
it is.
always plays the good guy. John, this time I wanted to do a little something, and you know what the good thing is, Marilyn, is I'm getting a lot of feedback that people say, you know what, John, I can't believe you're doing that. I don't see you like that. I was like, well, am I doing a good job? Yes, then I'm doing a good job acting.
Yeah.
And that makes me feel awesome. That is so good. That's the first thing that you said to me. Oh my
Yes.
God, you're such a bad guy, but that's not you in real life, you said.
Exactly.
And
Exactly.
that was like, well, I even said to Blake that day when we were with you, I said, then I'm doing something right.
You're doing, he's so good in this. I mean,
He's
what
so
a
bad, he's so good.
manipulating
Yes.
devil. Really and truly. But you remind me of people I've known off and on during my life. I actually married one. Anyway, in my mind, there's a lot of character going in different directions, characters moving, you're following them, some of them you like, some of them you don't like, but they all come together for the storyline, and you are key. You're a key character through this whole thing, When I saw the first episode, I was drawn to you as a character because I had met you and you were so nice. And there's this guy, and I could see, I mean, we immediately know who you are. You're the guy that fights for your life, fights for what you want, and loves to control things, doesn't like to not be in control. So don't question me, okay? I'm the controller here, and that's you.
He knows where he's going. He knows what he
Absolutely.
wants. Like Blake says, he's a manipulator. He likes to.
And boy, do you
that
play
power.
that role. Oh my God.
It's so fun.
You can tell it's
It's
fun. I mean,
fun.
he
It is.
really gets into it.
The cool part about how he portrays Jake is that no matter what his line is, no matter what the circumstances are, you see that underlying anger, that internal anger that's going on.
Yeah.
Whether it's in his face or if it's in his eyes, you just know something's there no matter what he's saying.
Even the body language, the way you sit in a chair in the show. I mean, it's just, you've got the whole thing down.
It's aggressive.
Oh.
It's aggressive.
And
Man.
that's what the character, we
the
talked,
character, yeah.
how I am. And,
Yeah.
and not to go off, but kind of doesn't. Of course, obviously I direct all the episodes, but the scenes that I'm in, my co-director right here takes control, and we talk about everything, so he knows where I want it to go and what I want, and he'll direct me, and sometimes there's stuff I don't see, and he'll see, and I'm like, wow, I watch it back, and it's awesome.
That is key. The fact that you two are very similar in, you're both creative, you both just love this kind of occupation, should we say, this creative development, and you both dive right into it. And I think there's probably a point where you can almost read each other's mind.
Oh, we do
yeah.
that quite
Oh.
often, do we not?
Yeah.
We do that quite often.
Yeah.
There's so many actors in the world who also, like Mel Gibson, he'll act the part, he'll also direct it. And I've always wondered, how do you do that? Because especially Mel Gibson, who is, talk about control. I mean, and he's a genius at that. But how do you play an actor in front of the camera when there's somebody behind the camera and you want them to do it a certain way, to shoot this, maybe pan left or right, and how do you do that? And that is why the two of you working together the way you are is going to make this so much, should I say, better, really.
Yeah, no, it is. It is. It definitely is. I mean, he knows where my imagination, he knows what I want to do with it and where I'm going with it. So it's awesome. So it's like you're talking to yourself. You know, and
Absolutely.
it's such an easy, and that makes it a lot easy for us too.
It does. So if we piqued your interest, huh?
We hope
Okay,
so.
get a pen and paper, okay, because you're going to watch the trailer of this amazing show. And what does it remind you of? Maybe a little bit of Knots Landing, a little bit of, well, I'm going to let you decide that, okay? So we're going to go to the trailer right now.
HUS News. We're here on Maple Avenue reporting live in Hush Point, the scene of what looks like an apparent crime.
The most interesting discovery was a tip of a knife lodged in her sternum.
You need to get down there now and get this taken care of. I don't care how you do it. Just get it done.
Think about getting a job.
No son of mine will ever work for Jake Carboni.
I got into a fight with my mom the other night.
Over what?
My dad.
I do it.
I don't understand how you can hate someone that much.
I have my reasons.
I'd love to hear them.
Maybe one day you will.
Good, isn't it?
I never get tired of watching that.
I never do either.
Good.
Since Blake sent me the DVD and I dropped it, well, I played it and had to look at it, you know. Oh my God, that's so well done, guys. Jeez. So we're going to take a little break right now, and we'll be back with these amazing people we've got on our show today. And we're going to talk about Hush Point. Where'd that name come from, huh? So stay with us. We'll be right back.
If you keep tanning, indoors or out, the effects of harmful rays will show up on your skin. Wrinkles, age spots, and an increased risk of melanoma, the second most common cancer in women 15 to 29. Stop tanning. Time may not be on your side. Learn how to protect your skin at spotskincancer.org. A message from the American Academy of Dermatology.
You'd do anything to take care of that spot on your lawn. So why not take care of that spot on your skin? If you're a man over 50, you're in the group most likely to develop skin cancer, including melanoma, the cancer that kills one person every hour. Check your skin for suspicious or changing spots. Go to spotskincancer.org to find out what to look for. A message from the American Academy of Dermatology.
Oh, hey, bud. Where are you headed?
Just gonna hang out.
With Gary and Todd?
Yeah?
I've been meaning to ask you, is there any drinking going on in this crowd?
No?
If any of your buddies ever pressure you to take a drink, just tell them you promised your dad you wouldn't. I'd do anything to keep you safe.
Okay, I will.
I hope this is working.
I promise. Love you too, Dad.
They really do hear you. For tips on what to say, visit underagedrinking.samhsa.gov.
So we're back. So I hope you have written down Hush Point, okay? Because something big is going to happen to this show. But let's back up a second. We're here with Dodie, Blake, and John, and we're talking about Hush Point, a TV show. Where did that name come from?
Even when I did my show in the 80s, that's the one thing besides the characters, it is so hard to come up with a name. It is so hard. So, Hush Point, I was trying to figure out, I had about, I think I told you about 5 different names.
Yeah, you had a bunch.
I had about 5 different names of this. So, to back up a little bit, what you were saying before, what the show reminds us of, and we're trying to do, is I was a very big fan of Knots Landing back in the 80s. It was my favorite all-time show, and it still is. So that show, and it's like a little Dallas. I'll give it a tiny bit of Twin Peaks because of the murder, and that goes out to our buddy Mike, so he'll know. So
I can't believe you did that.
Yeah, I did. I had to. But Knots Landing, I don't know if you were familiar with the soap operas back then. And Knots Landing it was a show about them. It wasn't about the glitz and the glamour and everything. It was grounded. It was about real issues. And that's what Blake and I, right from the start, we said, we want this show to be grounded. We want it about real issues. That's why I have the 4 teenagers, and everybody else is adults. Then they've got the 4 teenagers because they have issues. So the 4 teenagers have different issues. The adults' issues, me with the power. His mom has issues in the show. We have, who else? We got the detective. I have issues with him. Everybody has things going on, and we gave them their own storylines. And those issues, we hope we're reaching out to people, young or old, and say, gee, you know, that issue did help me out somehow. And we hope
we relate.
Yeah, we relate. And I always say this to Blake, we're meant to entertain people. That's what we were done. That's what we're here to do. We are meant to entertain an audience, and we hope we do that with Hush Point. So where did Hush Point come from, the name? Unfortunately, I can't take credit for that, and I'm going to tell her to watch this. We film at Polish Boutique, one of the shops in Brantford, with the owners Anna and Lisa, mother and daughter. And I was talking to her one day, and I said, you know, the only thing about this show, talking to her about filming there, of course, they were both very excited about that, and they're very good friends of mine, and they're great people. So I said, I'm having trouble coming up with the name. She says, give me a little while. I'll text you, I'll give you some names. Well, she did. She gave me 3. And I believe I put it together. It wasn't exactly, it was something else, I think I had told you.
I think that's what you said.
And I put those 2 together. I'm like, that's it, Hush Point. I can't take the credit for it, so that goes out to Anna. So thank you, Anna, for that.
Great job. Let me tell you what Hush Point means to me after watching the first episode. There are a lot of backstories going on behind these characters, okay? And there's an awful lot of, don't talk about that parts, okay? And Point, I think about, you know, by water. And of course, Guilford's by water, you know, it's a town by water. I live in Mystic, it's by the water. So I think of a point, you know, and, that takes land out to where, in a way, it doesn't belong out into the water. So this story is taking you somewhere that you're not maybe meant to be, or maybe not, or maybe not thought you would be going. So that to me, because when I walk out on a point of land in the water, that to me is, it takes me to a different place, mentally, emotionally. So I got the backstory and then the point, taking you to a different place.
I'd like to expand on that.
I was hoping you would.
That is really cool.
That it really is.
And
yes, Marilyn.
Yes.
Thank you.
It's really what Hush Point is it is bringing you somewhere else that you're not used to being. But what it is it's bringing TV somewhere else that it's not used to being. Because what we're doing here is we're not giving you the average storylines. We're giving you the real storylines. So our show isn't filled with sex and drugs and all that stuff that you see on every show now.
Yep.
Oh,
you know?
yeah.
And because that's not realistic. You know, I've gone to high school, I graduated a year ago, so I know what the high school scene is, and that's not what it is. You know, if we were going to talk about sex, then we would talk about a girl or a guy that, you know, is maybe put in that situation and is not sure if they're ready to have sex, or don't want to, or just figuring that whole situation out. Because yes, you have people sleeping around in high school, but you got to get to that point first before you get to that point. But TV just skips to that point. And what we're doing here is we're giving you real storylines. And like you said about the past, like, shh, don't talk about it. Well, we put together timelines for every single character that for the past 17 years of their life before the story time and the present time in the show. So they have a lot of things that happen to them, and they have a lot of different motivators. And all these things are coming back to bite them in the present, just like in real life. You know, something happens to you 2 years ago, you do something 2 years ago, and boom, you know, it comes back to you suddenly out of the blue. Yeah. And that's what the woman that was killed, that is a huge thing from a lot of people's past. And now that's the catalyst by which all these secrets are coming out. And now the characters are now driving the story.
I love it.
Thank you.
That is just
That's
the
so
coolest
sweet.
thing. The coolest thing.
Thank you.
Let's talk about hopes and dreams here. I mean, all the characters, obviously, we all in our own lives, we have hopes and dreams. Let's talk about Hush Point. Now, where is this going to go? Where would you like it to go? And how is it going to get there?
The sky's the limit, Marilyn.
Yes.
We don't know how it's going to get there.
But
it's going to.
We know it's going to.
Yes,
we
yes,
know
we do.
that God is going to bless this show. He's been very good to us and has been blessing us all along. And, you know, everything we do to glorify Him. And how we're glorifying Him with this show is we're going to be helping people. They're going to be relating to us. And, yeah, all the situations in the show have come from things we've experienced or things we at least know about.
Yeah. Or seen. Yeah.
And so we can either speak to that in advice if we've been there and we've kind of figured out something from that situation, or we can just make it relatable. Yeah. And just making it relatable makes someone feel good.
Oh,
but
yes,
if we can
yes.
give them a little bit of advice, that's even better.
Yeah, absolutely.
I love it because every show you watch, whether it's a movie and it's a one-time thing, or whether it's a TV show and you can't wait to see the next one, it pulls you in.
Right.
This is small town, okay? A lot of family secrets, a lot of community secrets, whatever, just like normal, okay? Just like you've got in your town. And you relate to that. You may see a character like you that I used to be married to, God. Really, it pulls you right in. And you relate to the people.
That's another topic for another show.
Oh, never, no. But it pulls you in, and you can't wait. Like right now, you're working on episode number 2. Oh my God, I cannot wait to see it. Now, I've watched episode 1 twice, but I'm going to have to watch it again before watching the second episode. And that's going to be finished soon, right?
Very soon.
Yes.
Well, it should be, because you got to go to college.
Yes. Yes.
Yes.
Now, are you still going to be able to, like, I mean, you know, today you can work long distance, you know, and the internet or phone or whatever. Just don't forget your studies, okay, dear?
I'll try not to. But another thing, like you were saying about how, you know, it makes people relate, you know, helps them. You know, just like in real life, not every story is going to have a happy ending in this show. But you're going to get this sense of everything is going to turn out okay. All the storylines are going to turn out okay.
Yeah.
And just like in real life, what I think we've all learned, you know, that step by step, that typical saying that you hear, just take it step by step. Well, really, take it step by step. Take it inch by inch. Don't think about the next mile you have to go through. Just keep moving. You're going to go through it, and it's going to be okay. So everything's going to turn out okay in Hush Point.
Well, as children, we were brought up with happily ever after. You know, it's like, it's even a term. They say, well, I want to meet my happily ever after, you know, kind of thing. Right. So you hope that everything, of course, the girl that died, I mean, you know, too bad. That didn't work out.
Too bad.
That didn't work out.
and you know, to what do you call on that? And you will find out, you know, who that person is. And like Blake was saying, that person is connected to a lot of the characters. But the reason behind it is even more interesting, because it's something that is real. People would do this, and they have done this in reality, you know? And just to emphasize on the show, I love that point you were saying about, you know, she was saying about the point and where it is. It is, we have it in a fictional New England town. We know where that is. But it's a community, like you said, and everybody has secrets, just like the writing said in the trailer, you know, and they all have secrets. Some don't even know about their past, and that's going to come back to haunt them. and that body is part of some of those people in the characters. And what we did was we decided not anybody in the cast knows who the murderer is. So it's not a murder mystery.
Wonderful.
It's more of a drama. I want, like I said, like a Knots Landing kind of drama.
Yeah.
But it does have some comedy. You know, his character has a lot of comedy, and he plays it so well.
Yes.
He does the comedy very well. There's little action here and there. There's a little romance here and there. No sex, just romance. There's friendship, which is that's another reason why how we connected too, because we're both big on friendships. So friendship to this whole show is just key. So it's got to be grounded with friendship and family, like you said before.
Yeah.
So it's basically all those things, you know, a little thriller, you know. But now what happens is we did not tell who the murderer is. We were, I wish we did not, but the person that is the actual murderer, we did tell this person. And you know, they're sworn to secrecy, so they know that they are. But we do readings too. We do just like the productions do. We have readings for the scripts. We read through the scripts. We have meetings. We tell them what we expect from them and what you should expect from us, and questions and answers and everything. And when we just got together about a month ago and read script 2 and 3, and now we went around the table again like we did last year. And now we had different answers. And now, like Blake said, they also had some insight. It wasn't just, oh, I think it's me. But now they said, I think it's you because...
Right, they had theories.
They had theories.
Based on facts.
Right.
Yes. And it was very interesting to hear. Dodie's so funny because she's dying to know who it is. And she's,
No, I'm Miss Page. I killed.
She thinks she did it.
I'm the
you know?
murderer.
Well, we
That's
cannot
all there is
confirm
to
or
it.
deny that.
Librarians and butlers.
But so it's so interesting to do that. And we're just like I said, we don't want anybody to know. Because why? As creators and as directors, we want the reaction when they do find out. So we're not even going to show them that day of when we film. And that we will find out in we're doing 6 episodes, by the way, of first season. And you will find out by the last 15 minutes of 20 minutes, I think, of the first episode of the 6th episode of the first season. And we want that initial reaction. That's what we want.
You want people to go, oh my God.
Yes, and that our cast, like even Dodie, she'll be there. It all comes out, and we do it. The format. I don't know if we told you, the format is every week we leave you hanging, and then we continue with the next one.
I noticed that.
Yes, and we do have something that no show nowadays has is opening credits.
Yes.
No show has opening credits.
I saw that.
I thought that'd be fun to do, and people love it.
Really fun.
Yeah.
Obviously, you're passionate about this.
Oh,
you know, you're all,
very.
even I am, and I'm like just a viewer. This is a zero budget situation.
Zero, big fat
which
zero.
is kind of a big challenge.
Yes.
How do you keep people, obviously your passion, you know, gets, you know, everybody else feels it and gets pulled into it.
Yeah, we hope so, and it usually does happen. It usually does.
Yeah. What other kind of challenges have you run into so far? Well, give us the Reader's Digest version.
Okay, scheduling.
Or just the headlines.
Scheduling is very hard.
Oh, yeah.
Because,
Yeah.
I mean, unfortunately, none of us are getting paid, but you know what?
Yeah.
Our actors are incredible. They do commit. And the ones that don't commit, unfortunately, they did. And then,
They're
we
human
did what we
beings.
had to do,
Yeah.
you know?
Yeah.
But yeah, working on zero budget is very hard. But we have a lot of people like us that are committed to the show and give us their time. And it's so appreciated. It really, really is. It means a lot to us, you know?
Of course it does.
It really
Of course
does.
it
And we
does.
also have a crew. Besides Dodie, we also have Mike and Johnny, who are our camera guy and our boom mic guy, which we have regular meetings every Wednesday, and they are awesome. They are really good to us, and we appreciate each one of them tremendously.
Yeah, everybody
because-
that's involved with this.
Yes, no, they do.
And unfortunately, also what that means is when you're scheduling, this means that it's a long process. And, you know, more challenges, he's going off to college.
Yes. Yeah.
So that means you're going to have to schedule very creatively.
Yeah, very good. But you know what, Marilyn? We got this far and we worked on it and we figured it
Yeah.
out. We're going to figure it out.
And of course, it's meant to happen.
Yeah.
I mean,
Yes.
big things are going to
Yeah.
happen with this show. I mean, I just, you know.
No,
I know
absolutely,
it.
absolutely. But and it's funny too, because a lot of times if we need an actor or audition or somebody we're meeting with, they say, the first thing they say is, you guys are very passionate. They know how passionate we are about the show.
It was obvious.
And it's like that makes us feel so good. It was like, wow, that's nice. Thank you. And that we appreciate that. We do. We appreciate that so much.
Now you've got something called a binder. What's that all about?
Yes, Blake is going to get that out. It's this. What this binder is, it's our Hush Point binder. That is everything we've been working on this past year.
Okay, that must weigh about 100 pounds.
It's very thick, very heavy.
Wow.
And
it's not blank pages.
No, it's not.
When we're going and we're meeting with different producers, different studio heads, we've had a few meetings, and we bring this binder along with our treatment, which is the kind of synopsis and what you usually use to sell a show. But we also bring this baby along, and so it weighs down our backpacks, but
obviously
it's worth it because every time we bring this out and set it on the table, we get this shocked reaction from whoever we're meeting with. Because what we have here is no longer a concept, but a product, and it's a product that's waiting to be sold.
Yeah.
And we have the first 4 episode scripts in here. We have the master plot, is what we call it. It's 18 pages worth of just different bullet points that represent each scene, telling us everything that's going to be happening in season 1. We have the murder plot, how the murder happened.
How it all came about and how it all...
And the backstory to it.
Yeah, how it all played out. So we have that. So
of course, you have to have that.
Yeah.
And I can see why so many people today are not as detail oriented as, as when, I was, an ad agency. I learned in New York and Chicago about ad agency business, and I learned, especially from my main mentor, detail, research. People don't do that as much anymore. And this is not a sit in your pants production at all.
Serious. Yeah.
And so this shows you're serious. This shows you're committed. This shows you got a plan.
Yes.
Oh yeah, absolutely.
And that can sell you faster than even, I don't need to see the trailer. I just know, you're.
Yeah.
Let me ask you a question, though. And it's kind of like a Jake control thing, but you've got to maintain control of this, creative development control. If a producer, say ABC, Fox, somebody says, okay, I really like this concept, I want to work with you, get this series ready, boom, done on the network. You've got to protect yourself, okay? Copyright, whatever is involved here. Have you talked to an attorney? Are you protected?
Funny. So funny you should ask that. Yes, we are. We
Okay.
copyrighted everything we've written down so far.
Absolutely.
So when it gets done, it's copyrighted. We actually just received our certificate last week.
Excellent.
So,
and this does not leave either your hands or your
Oh,
hands.
no, it does not.
Because this is...
You can touch it, Marilyn. Here
Oh,
you go.
can I touch
Yes,
it?
you
Oh my
can.
God.
Here
Yes,
you go, my dear.
Can I look at the last page? No.
That's what I was gonna say that to you. I was gonna say the last page, you cannot look at that.
I know.
That shows.
We're just going to put this back away.
Yes,
Yeah,
put
that
it back
shows
away.
you that,
Because
maybe.
I don't want to know.
Yeah.
Because you know what? It's the story.
Yeah.
It's the story. You're telling a story. And I don't want to know who did it.
Right.
Okay? I don't want to know until I'm supposed to know.
That's good.
Because now I'm more
You do,
disciplined.
but you don't.
Yeah, I know. I say that. But
By the way, incidentally, I believe you think it's me from what you said to me.
bad guy. I mean, everybody says the bad guy did it. Okay. We're not going to go there. Okay. Because who knows? Maybe it's the librarian.
It's the librarian.
We cannot confirm or deny.
That's true. No, we can't.
Okay, there's that. There
With
it
the
is.
candlestick
Yeah.
in the living room or whatever, however that works, right?
Oh, the thing is, you see the first episode and you come up with so many, oh my God, are they related? Oh my God, what happened there? Oh, I bet you this happened. I mean, your mind just starts going and going. And then, guess what? The second episode isn't done yet. And you go, oh my God, I can't stand it. And this is just sign, okay? That's the magic, okay? Because like I said at the end of the show that we did on your movie 1, the magic has to be there. That magic is the creativity, the passion, the story that pulls you in, all of the ingredients that put together this magical show. And I have to tell you, I mean, I've been involved in production and writing and creativity all my life. And when I see something that's really good and magical, I get so freaking excited. And that's why I wanted to have you on the show. But not until you were ready. And this was perfect timing.
Yes.
Because
absolutely.
somebody's going to snatch this. Somebody's going to grab it.
Yep.
Just be very careful that they are who they say they are.
Yes,
Check them
exactly.
out. You know,
Yeah,
you've
and,
got to protect yourself. You've got to protect your product. You've got to protect everything.
Oh, absolutely. Yeah, we've done that. We've talked about everything. And speaking of that, yeah, we have gone to different producers we've talked with already, and they said we talk. One lady says, gee, she said to us, she thought we were coming up to get things started. When we pulled the binder out, her and her assistant, they looked at it, they were shocked.
Yeah.
They were shocked. They couldn't believe that we had all this work done in an hour, in a whole year. We did all this work. They couldn't believe it. They just kept going back to that binder.
It's not just a concept, it's an actual product.
Yes.
And
it's
I'll
ready
tell
to
you,
be sold.
Yeah.
It's-
Oh, absolutely. It's absolutely ready to be sold. Like I said, we're almost finished with episode 3 too. You know.
And you were here. You were here. You saw it. You were part of this. I mean, you can look at this and say, I knew them. Well, I saw them. I heard them. I knew about it. I knew. So it's not really going to be a hush thing for very long.
That's true.
Marilyn, you got us first here.
You do, Marilyn. You got us first, honey.
I'm so excited.
So are we.
Well, this has been a wonderful show, and I wish we had another hour that we could go, but we don't. This is magical, people, okay? And you know how I always love to end the show with a quote. And what I wanted to do was, you've obviously seen the passion, you've seen the commitment, you've seen there's a struggle involved here too, and you have to keep going on one step at a time. So I found this particular quote, which is by Ollie Vincent. Stop seeing the obstacles you face as reasons why you can't do something. See them as the reason why you can, and celebrate your accomplishments on a daily basis. And they do. You do.
Cool.
And to interrupt you for a second, we are big on quotes, and that's awesome.
Yeah.
I'm glad you like it.
And very quickly, I know we have to get off, but basically we had our big premiere for our first episode, and we went all out, and we had T-shirts and everything. So as a thank you, we would like to give you a T-shirt.
A T-shirt?
Yes,
Look at
a Hush
that, I
Point
got a T-shirt.
T-shirt, and also a
God.
band too, for a thank you from Blake and I for having us, and we appreciate that from the bottom of our heart.
Look at this. Okay, you too can have this
Yes.
when it becomes famous, which it will.
Yes.
Thank you so much. You're amazing. I'm so glad you were on the show today. This has
Thank you for
been
having
Thank you.
us.
this has been a magical
Check it out on
moment,
YouTube.
people. Oh.
Yes.
Oh, yes. Plus,
right.
you can
You can see the
there's
first
an
episode.
email.
Yep.
There's an email address if you want to connect with Blake and John. hushpointshow@gmail.com.
Check
We're
it out.
pursuing any leads right now.
Any leads, we'd
Any
appreciate
leads.
it, and it'd be
Oh,
well worth it.
yes,
And
yes.
definitely check that first episode out on YouTube. Second one will be coming very soon.
Hoo-hoo. And if you want the link to their YouTube, to the show, to check it out, email me or email them, and they will send you the link, okay? And you're going to
Absolutely.
want to see it. It's just amazing. And if you've got ideas, as always, email me. And thank you so much, everybody,
Marilyn,
for
thank
making
you.
this a fantastic show. Thank you to our sponsors. Thank you to our viewers. We couldn't do this without you. So we will see you again on From This Corner TV.
Thanks, Marilyn.
My pleasure.